It's summer 2014, and the New York Rangers are back in the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 20 years earlier, in 1994 when they won their first cup since 1940. But despite a phenomenal performance in net from Henrik Lundqvist and some top-tier contributions from young guns like Ryan McDonough, Derek Stepan, and Chris Kreider, and with the help of veterans like Brad Richards and a 38-year-old Martin St. Louis, the Rangers would be taken down in 5 games by the Los Angeles Kings, who had won their second cup in 3 years. And although New York would make it back to the playoffs each of the next 3 seasons, they wouldn't be able to get past the conference finals again, and future Hall of Fame goaltender Henrik Lundqvist would become one of the NHL's greatest players never to win a Stanley Cup. During the 2017-18 season, the Rangers front office wrote a letter to the fans addressing what their plans were for the rest of the season and going forward with the future of Rangers hockey. One of the key portions of the letter said, quote, "As we approach the trade deadline later this month and into the summer, we will be focused on adding young, competitive players that combine speed, skill, and character. This may mean we lose some familiar faces, guys we all care about and respect." Shortly after this, the Rangers would trade away Michael Grabner, Rick Nash, Ryan McDonough, and JT Miller in 3 separate transactions, where they would stockpile 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, along with guys like Vladislav Namestnikov, Libor Hayek, and Ryan Lindgren, a guy who has become a staple on the Blue Shirts Blue Line. In the 2018-19 season, New York would continue their retool, sending off big names Matt Zuccarello and Kevin Hayes before the trade deadline. And in the 2018, 2019, and 2020 drafts, they would pick in the first round 6 times. They'd pick up stud defenseman Keandre Miller and Niels Lundqvist, along with forward Vitaly Kravtsov in 2018. In 2019, they would end up with the 2nd overall pick and selected Kaapo Kakko, the Finnish winger. And in 2020, they somehow ended up with the 1st overall pick in the draft despite getting to the qualifying round of the playoffs. And with that 1st overall pick, they would choose Canadian phenom Alexis Lafreniere. This was a big draft for the Rangers, where they also picked up defenseman Braden Schneider in the 1st round, and then big winger William Cooley in the 2nd round, who looks like he has promise. Dylan Guerin in the 4th round, the young goaltender from the Kamloops Blazers, and even Brett Berard in the 5th round, who is a solid winger currently playing at Providence College. The Rangers would also select 16th overall in the 2021 draft and took Brennan Othman, a winger currently playing in the OHL. Prior to the 2019-20 season, the Rangers would also make one of their biggest moves yet, signing free agent winger Artemi Panarin to a huge 7-year, $81.5 million contract. Panarin has accelerated the Rangers' rebuild so much, becoming that X factor they really hadn't had since Jaromir Jagr, and putting up a superstar level 1.33 points per game average with the Rangers so far. Another huge piece of the puzzle for New York would come during the 2019 season as well. The Rangers would also acquire college defenseman Adam Fox from the Carolina Hurricanes for just a 2nd and 3rd round pick. Fox, of course, has developed into one of the league's best defensemen since he's come into the NHL, and even won the Norris Trophy last year. The Rangers would also acquire tough defenseman Jacob Trouba before the season, and although some might say they lost that trade overall, Trouba is certainly no slouch and can provide physicality and also size and skill that not many defensemen can in today's NHL. In the 2014 draft, the Rangers found a complete diamond in the rough, when in the 4th round they would select Russian goaltender Igor Shesterkin with the 118th overall pick. Shesterkin wouldn't be able to come to the NHL until the 2019-20 season due to his contract in the KHL, but ever since he made his NHL debut, he really hasn't looked back. So far with a .925 save percentage and .243 goals against average in 68 NHL games. And with the numbers he's putting up this year, he'll likely be a Vezina candidate at the end of the season. Another huge part of the Rangers' relatively quick rise back to playoff contention is due to the breakout of center Mika Zibanejad, who has been a point-per-game player since the 2018-19 season and has emerged as a true number 1 center for New York. In addition, the only other player on the team besides Zibanejad when they wrote the letter to the fans in 2018, Chris Kreider. Kreider is one of the game's best power forwards right now. Consistently puts up 20 to 25 goals and is having a career year, currently with 21 goals in 36 games this season. The Rangers also made some smart moves this offseason, adding some toughness and some guys with playoff experience. Picking up Stanley Cup champ Barclay Goodrow, Cup champ Sammy Blais from the Blues, who unfortunately got hurt and is out for the season, and one of the NHL's last tough guys, Ryan Reeves, who can help protect some of the stars in the Rangers lineup. It's pretty impressive how quickly the Rangers have been able to turn things around, going from last in the division in 2017-18 to currently tied for first in the Metro, and with a team that looks hungry to prove themselves. And with Gerard Gallant at the helm, it looks like they finally have the right coach for the job. With a superstar goaltender, a young and very promising defense core with stars throughout, a few very good centers, and some elite wingers all throughout the top 9 up front, the sky's the limit for this New York Rangers team. And I really think that this team should win at least a Stanley Cup or 2 over the next 5 seasons. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.